Good evening. Welcome to the July 15th, 2024 meeting of the Stillwater City Council. At this time, I will call the meeting to order, and I'll ask that you all stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, item 3 on the agenda is our consent docket. Questions, comments, or action on the consent docket?
I move approval of consent.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the consent docket. Please vote. The vote of 4-0, the consent docket is approved. Moves us to item 6, public hearings. 6A has received public comment regarding a request from Marilyn Shipman for a map amendment to rezone properties addressed as 424 South Husband and 212 West 5th Avenue from two-family multifamily residential to commercial business. Diana Hood is here.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. As stated, this is a request concerning the properties at 424 South Husband Street and 212 West 5th Avenue. My name is Diana Hood. I'm the Associate Planner presenting this item on behalf of the Planning Department. Here's an area map of the subject property. It's located near the intersection of South Husband Street and West 5th Avenue. Here's an aerial view of the subject property. There are 2 lots that are requested to be rezoned this evening, and each lot has a single-family residence. Here's a street view looking northwest towards the subject property. And here's the zoning map of the subject property. The request is to rezone from the current zoning, which is two-family and multifamily, to commercial business, which is located in the proximity to the east and to the south, with two-family and multifamily located to the north and to the west. This is the future land use map. The future land use map was adopted with the most recent comprehensive plan, which is the C3 plan, and it was it's used to project the desired uses within the city of Stillwater, and the comprehensive plan calls for commercial uses at this location. Are there any questions for staff?
Councilors, any questions? All right. Ms. Carnley, did we have good notice on this public hearing?
Yes, we do.
This time I'll open the public hearing. I don't have anyone signed up to speak. Anybody here to talk about this item? Diana, could you come back up and let us know I'll close the public hearing, and then Diana, can you let us know about the Planning Commission's recommendation?
The Planning Commission recommended approval with a vote of 4-0.
Thank you. Councilors, questions, comments, motions, or motions on the item?
Motion to accept Planning Commission's recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the Planning Commission's recommendation. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, the item is approved. Item 6B, receive public comment regarding a request from OZSOL LLC for a map amendment to rezone properties addressed as 1302 West Lakeview Road, Tract 1, 1412 West Lakeview Road, 1424 West Lakeview Road, 1508 West Lakeview Road, and an unaddressed tract of land on West Lakeview Road between 1508 and 1412 West Lakeview Road, from small lot single-family residential to commercial shopping. This is CC-24-99. Do we have good notice on this one?
Yes, we do.
Ms. Porter.
All right, thank you. Quickly, I want to mention that in your packets, the area map is incorrect. It included a lake to the west, and it should not, it's a pond, it's not a lake, but to the west. It does not include that parcel. So, on to, my name is Jocelyn Porter, City Planner, presenting the mentioned map amendment request to rezone several properties at the previous mentioned addresses from small at single family RSS to commercial shopping to allow for future commercial development. The subject properties is located near the intersection of North Garfield Street and West Lakeview Road on the north side of West Lakeview. Lakeview Community Church is located to the west, and Lakeview Self-Storage is located to the southeast of the subject properties. Here's a street view looking at 1508 West Lakeview Road, the only property with a small single-family home. The others are vacant lots. The current zoning of the property is small lot single-family, with similar zoning to the north, east, and west, with the university to the south. Two-family and multifamily zoning district is also to the north and to the west. Commercial shopping is located in the vicinity to the west and the southeast of the subject properties. The properties located to the east of North Garfield is also owned by the owner on the subject property, is also on this agenda, and they are requesting to rezone to RTM tonight. The future land use map, which was adopted with the 2030 Comprehensive Plan, which projects the desired use in the area at the time of the adoption to have the area as high-density residential along West Lakeview Road. Aaron Ferguson with Bancroft Design is here on behalf of the property owner. Do you have any questions for staff at this time?
Counselors? Thank you, Jacqueline. This time I'll open the public hearing. If we have a representative of the applicant that wants to speak, we're happy to hear from you.
Good evening, Aaron Ferguson with Bancroft Design, located at 923 South Lowry Street, representing the owner. Right now, we are requesting to rezone to commercial shopping. There are no specific plans for any certain projects in the area. It's just a rezoning request. There are commercial properties located in the vicinity. And while the property to the immediate west is not zone commercial, it is still an established church, and it's not being used in a residential capacity at this time. Are there any questions for me?
Counselors, any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't have anyone else sign up to speak on this item. Was there somebody here who was planning to speak? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Jacqueline, what was the Planning Commission's recommendation on this item?
Planning Commission recommend approval with a vote of 4-0.
Thank you. Counselors?
I move to accept the Planning Commission recommendation. Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the Planning Commission's recommendation. Please vote. It's approved with a vote of 4-0. Takes us to item 6C. Receive public comment regarding a request from OZSOL LLC for a map amendment to rezone property addressed as 1302 West Lakeview Road, Track 2, and 2323 North Garfield Street from small lot single-family residential to two-family multifamily. This is CC-24-100. Did we have good notice on this item?
Yes, we do.
Ms. Porter?
Yes, thank you. As mentioned, this is a map amendment request to rezone a couple of properties from RSS to RTM to allow for future residential development. The subject property is located near the intersection of North Garfield Street and West Lakeview Road on the north side of Lakeview and the east side of North Garfield. Lakeview Community Church is located to the west, Lakeview Self-Storage to the southeast, and Lakeview Addition is to the east of the subject properties. Here's a street view looking towards 2323 North Garfield Street. Again, the only property with a single-family home. The other property is vacant. The current zoning of the property is RSS with similar zoning to the north, east, and west, with university and commercial shopping to the south, and two-family multifamily district is also to the west. The property to the west along West Lakeview, you just approved for rezoning from RSS to CS. The future land use map was adopted in 2030 with the 2030 Comprehensive Plan, which projected the desired uses in the area at the time of the adoption of the plan. It projected the use in the area to high-density residential along West Lakeview and low-density a little bit further to the north. Again, Aaron Ferguson with Bancroft is here on behalf of the property owner. Are there any questions for staff?
Any questions? Thank you, Jacqueline. This time I'll open the public hearing. If applicant's representative would like to let us know?
Yeah,
Any
Aaron
other
Ferguson
comments?
with Bancroft Design at 923 South Lowry. Again, there are no specific plans at this time. It's just for future use. There is RTM zoning just across the street along Garfield. Are there any questions?
Don't think so.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't have anyone else signed up to speak in this public hearing. Seeing no one else here to speak, I will close the public hearing. Jacqueline, what was the Planning Commission's recommendation on this item?
Planning Commission also recommended approval for this item to 4-0.
Thank you. Counselors,
Motion to accept planning commission's recommendation?
Second.
we have a motion and a second to accept the recommendation. Please vote. It's approved with a vote of 4-0. Thank you, Jacqueline. Item 7 on the agenda is resolutions. 7A, resolution number CC-2024-18, a resolution amending resolution CC-2024-10 of the City Council to amend the duties of the Washington School Advisory Committee consistent with the intent of the formation of the committee. I'll jump in and talk about this one unless you really want to.
Oh, I defer to you.
Okay. This is an addition of some language that the Washington School Committee wanted us to just clarify and make sure everyone is on the same page, to add language noting that one of the things we want from the Washington School Advisory Committee is advice and comment on preserving the history of the Washington School building. That wasn't specifically worded in there, but I think something that we all expected and want to see. We want to make sure that that committee is able to help us make sure that that school and its historic status is preserved through whatever ends up becoming of that property, and we hope it's spectacular. So they wanted to make sure that we had that in the resolution. I felt like it made sense based on the discussions we've all had about it. So that's the only change is the addition of that language to say the history of Washington School will be part of the recommendations. Questions, comments, or action on the resolution?
I move adoption of resolution CC 2024-18.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution. Please vote. That resolution is approved with a vote of 4-0. Item B is resolution CC-2024-21, a resolution of the Stillwater City Council authorizing and approving the submission of an application for United States Department of Transportation Small Community Air Service Development Program grant funds for an expanded marketing program at Stillwater Regional Airport to increase passenger enplanements. Enplanements is a sort of unnecessary word there, right? Increase passengers, but whatever. It's fancy. Go ahead.
So the United States Department of Transportation has a small community air service development grant. It provides grant funds on a competitive basis to enhance community air service. Stillwater Regional Airport has identified an eligible project of an expanded marketing program directed at increasing passenger enplanements. The resolution approves submission of a grant application for an amount not to exceed $500,000 for the project. There's no cost share. The grant monies are dispersed on a reimbursable basis. And Airport Director Kelly Reed is here tonight if you have any other questions.
Councilors, any questions?
Well, I'll just comment that enplanements are people who are boarding the aircraft here as opposed to those who might be exiting the aircraft here. That's why that word is important.
Okay.
And because part of the...
I'm not sure how we'd market more people to get off the airplane.
We want them to fly to Stillwater,
Okay,
right?
That's a good point. Good point.
As outlined in the resolution, part of the objective of that expanded marketing program is to increase passenger enplanements to support our current airline operations so that there is less reliance on a minimum revenue guarantee. So that's why that word's used. We've used that consistently in discussing that.
I just think it's a funny word. Enplanements. Does anybody say enplanements? Kelly, do we
Kelly
use that
does.
word outside of the airport? I mean, I turned this into a thing. I just think it's a funny word.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Yes, an enplanement is a commercial passenger that's leaving Stillwater Regional Airport or any other commercial service airport. So any inbound travelers coming here, when they leave, would be an enplanement. And we get passenger facility charges for every enplanement we receive. So the more we receive, the more money that funds the airport. So
Very
it's an important word.
Very important. I'm sorry I brought it up.
And if we ever had a through flight, people that stayed on the airplane and continued on would not be an
enplanements.
enplanement.
Okay. I have learned about enplanements.
What else would you like to know?
Any other questions, comments, or motions on the resolution? Because we would like to have more money to increase our employments.
Just a quick question. This doesn't really have anything to do with this particular resolution, except when we're talking about the minimum revenue guarantee, that is also based on the people flying into Stillwater, though, isn't it? It's not just the people flying out.
So the minimum revenue guarantee is developed and designed to keep the service strong enough to meet American Airlines minimum revenue for their service to operate here.
But it's based on flights going in. I mean, it's also based on the incoming flights and the people that buy
Correct.
tickets
It
for those
protects
as well.
them
Okay.
to ensure that they reach their minimum revenue or covers their costs for their operating costs for them to fly in and out.
Okay. Thank you.
Our load factor has been averaging about 70% historically, but that is a climb because we used to have 50-seat aircraft. Now we have 65-seat aircraft. So we are in a growth pattern, but we need to be above that 70% annual average load factor, upwards of 80, hopefully 85%, to be able to move away from an MRG.
Thank you.
Thus the extra marketing need.
Action on the resolution.
Motion to adopt resolution CC-2024-21.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution. Please vote. The resolution is adopted with a vote of 4-0. Item C is resolution CC-2024-22, a resolution authorizing and approving the submission of an application for fiscal year 2025 bipartisan infrastructure law airport terminals program funds administered by the Federal Aviation Administration for airport infrastructure improvements at Stillwater Regional Airport and approving the associated budget amendment for the required sponsor match. I think we have some changes to this resolution from what was
Yes, I
circulated.
do have a couple of revisions to this resolution. I've placed at each of your places some revisions. We also have additional copies available for the public here this evening. This resolution is approving grant application for fiscal year 2025 FAA Airport Terminals Program, ATP grant funds. After the agenda was posted, the airport director received guidance from our FAA regional representative that the airport may revise our application to include additional eligible project elements. As such, there are a couple of changes. The eligible project elements have been revised to include a planned terminal access road and roundabout, which requires revisions to the total amount of grant funds we're applying for and the required sponsor match. So we are seeking authorization to apply for grant funds in a not to exceed amount of $6 million, and the required 5% sponsor match is $300,000. Approving this resolution as revised approves application, required sponsor match, and the associated budget amendments, and also authorizes the mayor or vice mayor to sign any necessary documents for such purpose. Kelly Reed is still here if you have any questions.
Councilors, questions, comments, or action on the resolution?
I move adoption of resolution CC 2024-22 as revised.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution as revised. Please vote. That's approved with a vote of 4-0. And I hope we get that money. Thanks for being here, Kelly, to answer those questions about employment. That was very helpful. Item 7D, Resolution CC-2024-23, a resolution notifying the public of the compiling and publishing of Code Supplement Number 10 to the Code of the City of Stillwater, Oklahoma.
This is a routine resolution, just notifying the public that we have published and compiled supplement number 10. So any ordinances that had been passed by the City Council since supplement 9 are now compiled and codified on the online code. And this resolution also confirms that we've complied with state law requirements regarding codification of our code.
So just so people who don't get on and read the city code on a regular basis, when we pass new resolutions, they all kind of get stuck in as resolutions. They don't actually get filed into the code sections themselves until we pass something like this, right?
Yes, but you said resolution. I believe you meant ordinances.
I meant
yes.
ordinances. Thank you.
Yes, they go into what's the online ordinance bank. So the homepage of the code will show recently passed ordinances until such time that we supplement the code, and at that time they're compiled and codified into the code.
Yep. So when you go through the actual code sections, you'll find them in there instead of at the beginning as a
That's
standalone
correct.
ordinance. Yep. So organization of the code. Questions, comments, or action on the resolution?
Motion to adopt resolution CC-2024-23.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the resolution. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, Resolution 2024-23 is adopted. That takes us to Section 8, Ordinances. On first read, ordinance number 3540, an ordinance rezoning tracts of land located at Track 2 of 1302 West Lakeview Road and 2323 North Garfield Street from small lot single-family residential to two-family multifamily residential. This is from earlier this evening. Councilors.
Move to advance ordinance 3540 to second reading.
Second.
A motion and a second to advance the ordinance. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, ordinance 3540 is moved to second reading. Item B is ordinance 3541, an ordinance rezoning tracts of land located at 1302 West Lakeview Road, Tract 1, 1412 West Lakeview Road, 1424 West Lakeview Road, 1508 West Lakeview Road, and a tract of land on West Lakeview Road between 1508 and 1412 West Lakeview Road, from small lot single-family residential to commercial shopping, also from earlier this evening.
Motion to advance ordinance number 3541.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to advance the ordinance. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, ordinance 3541 is moved to second reading. Item C is ordinance 3542, an ordinance rezoning tracts of land located at 424 South Husband Street and 212 West Fifth Avenue from two-family and multifamily residential to commercial business. Councilors.
Motion to advance ordinance 3542.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to advance the ordinance. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, ordinance 3542 is moved to second reading. On second reading, item A is ordinance 3539, an ordinance amending the Stillwater City Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 31, Municipal Court, Article 1 in general, by adding Section 31-40, Assessment of Municipal Court Technology Fee, repealing all ordinances to the contrary, and providing for severability.
I move adoption of ordinance 3539.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 3539. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, that ordinance is adopted. Item 9 is appointments. We have an opening on the Rural Water Advisory Board for a term that expires December 31st, 2025. Mr. Greg Pickens has submitted an application to sit on that board, and I will nominate or move that Greg Pickens is appointed to the Rural Water Advisory Board.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, Greg Pickens is appointed to the Rural Water Advisory Board. We appreciate Mr. Pickens very much for his willingness to serve in that capacity. At this time, I will move that we recess the City Council meeting before item, oh wait, we're going to do, no, we're not going to do that. Strike that.
Undo.
Reports from officers and the board. How about that? Ms. Carnley.
Request for executive sessions pursuant to 25 OS Section 307B1 of the Oklahoma Open Meeting Act for the purpose of confidential communication regarding the employment, appointment, promotion, demotion, disciplining, or resignation of Stillwater City Attorney Kimberly Carnley, Stillwater City Manager Kimberly Meek, and Municipal Judge Tanya Ron.
Thank you. Ms. Meek.
Let's try again. Congratulations to our esteemed Finance Department upon receiving the top recognition for government accounting and financial reporting for the 42nd consecutive year. This achievement is the highest form of recognition in the area of general government accounting and financial reporting for the Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada. The Exceptional Financial Reporting Award recognizes the long-time commitment the city has with taxpayers and the commitment of being good stewards with taxpayer funds. Our finance department, led by Assistant City Manager and Finance Director Christy Cluck, have continued a phenomenal legacy of success and outstanding work.
That is a huge honor and award, and we really appreciate the work that Christy and her team do, and the continued success of that department is a credit to this community for sure. Councilor Hawkins.
Stillwater Police Department will host National Night Out on Tuesday, August 6th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Southern Woods Park. This is an annual event to build to build and strengthen relationships with the Stillwater families, friends, emergency responders, and other organizations and businesses. There will be games, food, and fun. If Stillwater businesses would like to sign up to be a vendor, please contact Lieutenant Lowe at terry.lowe@stillwaterok.gov. Save the date, and we hope to see everyone there.
Always a fun event. Thank you. Councilor Clark.
Stillwater Art Integration has developed the community's first utility box art program. This is a beautification, art inclusion, and graffiti abatement initiative. The contest is open to all students from Stillwater Public Schools, Meridian Technology Center, Oklahoma State University, and Northern Oklahoma College. All artwork must be submitted by Thursday, August 15, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. This year's artwork theme is It's Electric, to celebrate and educate the community on the importance of electricity and energy saving initiatives. For more information, go to stillwaterok.gov/art. Then, moving on, looking for fresh produce, flowers, farm fresh eggs, homemade breads, canned goods, and more? Then you don't want to miss the Stillwater Farmers Market on Wednesdays and Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Prairie Arts Center. Saturdays also feature porch pop-up shops alongside the market and the free community art studio project from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. For a list of summer events and opportunities at Prairie Arts, go online to artcenter.okstate.edu or stop by the center at 1001 South Duck Street.
Excellent. Thank you. Councilor Harden.
Please save the dates, July 17th and 21st, for Crazy Days. This is Stillwater's annual largest community-wide retail sales event. From Lakeview Point and Pioneer Square shopping centers to the Strip in downtown Stillwater, there are many shops offering summertime sales for all ages. Some stores feature sidewalk sales, some will have sale rack located inside, some will have both. For a full list of participating businesses, go to visitstillwater.org.
It's going to be like reasonably cool the later
Yeah.
part of this week so that you can go out and have a great time shopping at
That was
Crazy
good
Days.
planning on the weather part.
It was. It was. We'll have to give our thanks to the weather people here. All right. At this time, I will move that we recess City Council prior to item 12 on the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to recess City Council. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, we'll be in recess from the City Council. And while we are, I will call to order the Stillwater Utilities Authority meeting for July 15th, 2024. This agenda has a consent docket. Questions, comments, or action on the consent docket?
Move to accept consent docket.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent docket. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, the SUA consent docket is approved. Any reports from the officers or the board? Is there a motion to adjourn SUA?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn the SUA. Please vote. The vote of 4-0, Stillwater Utilities Authority is now adjourned. This time I'll call to order the July 15th, 2024 meeting of the Stillwater Economic Development Authority. Trustees, action on the consent docket.
Move approval of consent.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve consent. Please vote. SEDA consent is approved with a vote of 4-0. Any reports from the officers of the board? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn SEDA. Please vote. Vote of 4-0, the Stillwater Economic Development Authority meeting is now adjourned. At this time, I will reconvene the Stillwater City Council at item 12 on our agenda. Is there a motion to enter executive session for the reasons requested by the city attorney?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to enter executive session. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, the Stillwater City Council will now enter executive session. All right, we're back. Is there a motion to reconvene from executive session?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mayor Joyce,
Yes?
Councilor Hawkins,
Yes.
Councilor Clark. Yes. Councilor Harden.
With a vote of 4-0, we're back in regular session as the Stillwater City Council. There's no action taken from executive session. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn the city council. Please call the roll.
Mayor Joyce?
Yes?
Counselor Hawkins?
Yes.
Counselor Clark?
Yes.
Counselor Harden?
Yes.
With a vote of 4-0, the Stillwater City Council is now adjourned, and that concludes our meetings for the evening.